Well, good evening, everyone. It is 7:30, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Roll call.
Disley?
Here.
Baker?
Right.
Peterson?
Here.
Peterson?
Here.
Lee? Carmen?
Here.
Steinbeck?
Here.
Ostenor?
Here.
Invocation by Pastor Brent Montgomery. Brent, if you'd be so kind.
Thanks. Father, I ask that you give these people tonight wisdom and a vision to look beyond just the moment, but to look toward years to come, to make a difference in our community. Give them the peace when you give them that wisdom. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray. Amen. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A current copy of the Open Meetings Act of Nebraska is posted on the wall at the back of the council chambers. If the folks out there, if you didn't get a copy of the agenda, should be a copy back here on the table if you'd like to have one. And if you do have one, I'd like to direct your attention to the top portion for the meeting procedures. It says the public may address specific agenda items at the pleasure of the mayor. If recognized by the mayor, please state your name and address and limit remarks to 3 minutes or less. Out of respect to city employees, we request that any complaints or criticisms of employees not be aired in a public meeting. Concerns about employees should be brought to the attention of the city administrator or mayor. An individual in violation will be declared out of order. All right, we'll go right into the consent agenda. Let me read that as well. All matters on the consent agenda are considered by the city council to be routine and will be reenacted by one motion. Any city council member may, however, remove an item from consent by request. All right, item number 1 is approved minutes of regular meeting on August 1st and budget work sessions on August 8th and 9th of 2017. And item number 2, approve application by Mid Plains Food and Lodging, Inc. for a special designated license on October 21st, 2017 from 5 p.m. to 1 a.m. at the DNN Event Center, 501 East Walker Road for a MCF-MMA entertainment event.
Motion to approve items 1 and 2 of the consent agenda.
Second.
That motion passes. All right, on the regular agenda, item number 3, forward recommendation by the North Platte Historic Preservation Commission regarding establishment of the original town business historic district to the City of North Platte Planning Commission for approval.
Motion to approve the recommendation by the North Platte Historic Preservation
Judy come up
Commission.
and kind of talk about that.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Glenn.
Okay. Regarding the establishment of the original town business historic district to the City of North Platte Planning Commission for approval.
I'll second it.
Okay, now, Judy, did you wish to speak?
Not unless you want me to.
I think, sounds like Lawrence wanted to hear something from you.
Okay.
Just kind of give me a rundown again what was talked about yesterday.
At the Historic Preservation Commission meeting, is that what you're looking at? Okay.
Yes.
We held a public hearing at the Historic Preservation Commission meeting yesterday at 4:30. You should have all received a copy of some of the comments that were made there. We had a pretty good turnout. There were about 4 people, I believe, that spoke. They just were a little bit asking questions about what designation of a local historic district did or would do. Basically, this is a local historic district designation. It's not going to be on the National Register as of yet. Our ordinances allow us to create historic districts or establish historic districts in the city of North Platte. Basically, what it does is it allows some of those individuals in those areas to possibly apply and qualify for some tax credits for historic preservation purposes, restoring the outsides of their buildings, you know, things like that, some of those types of things. What establishment of a historic district will do for them is sometimes it will have an impact on tourism. There's a lot of people, and, you know, it kind of surprised me, but there are a lot of people that actually tour historic areas that are designated as historic areas. Also, it can enhance economic growth or economic development, because there are some businesses that can be enticed to a neighborhood because of the historic characteristics of the area. And it also kind of preserves, like if you are a building owner in that area and you have a building that you've recently renovated a little bit to the historic nature and you've kept it as a historic nature, it kind of keeps your neighbor from doing something that's really out of character, so it will help enhance your development. Is that enough?
Jim?
I just read the minutes of the meeting there, and there was one question I thought might have been asked by someone there, and you addressed that. Would it enable people to qualify for certain grant monies, perhaps, or
Possibly, yes.
possibly? What are the negatives? Let's say I'm the guy that owns the alcove building. Let's say that I'm opposed to this designation. What are the what is the potential for me to be impacted as the owner of a structure down there in terms of my ability to alter, change, do my own thing with my own property? Is this something that would be there that would not permit me to do things I want to do to my property?
No, the only thing that this does, we can't stop somebody from doing something. So say, for example, somebody had a historic structure, and they're like, you know what, we don't care, we want to put vinyl siding all over it, I don't care what you say. What's going to happen, since it is in a local historic district, we will say, wait a minute, stop, slow down, why don't you come in and talk to us, let the Historic Preservation Commission have a chance to review what you're doing. So they'll come in, they'll review kind of what they're doing and say, you know, if you do this, you could maybe qualify for some grant funding or some funding to help you out, or if you do this, it would actually give you a bigger benefit certain way. But ultimately, if that property owner wants to side their building, we can't stop them. But we are hoping that they would maybe stop and think about it a little bit.
You couldn't stop me from doing whatever I wanted to do to my building. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Ultimately, you are correct. Mr. Steinbeck, do you want to say something because you're on the commission, or
Yeah, within,
Stephen?
within the context of our own city ordinances, they can't
Well,
go
of course,
outside of our own
of
city.
course.
But all we do is end up slowing it down, forcing them to come talk. And so worst case scenario would be a 30-day wait.
So you'd slow down whatever they wanted to do and try to persuade them perhaps to do
Right,
with their other
Put
options.
brick on it rather than siding.
and maybe not necessarily
Maybe even
persuade
give some
them,
money
but
to
maybe
do
just give them an option they didn't think about. Stephen, do you want to?
Yeah, I guess,
He's the chairman of the.
Stephen Granger, Chairman of the Historic Preservation Commission. For instance, let's take the old post office or the old college that is now the current art center, Prairie Art Center. It's on the historical register currently, so when we're doing improvements to that building, we need to be concerned on the main front streets of each side. So the east side and the north side of the exterior of the building, we need to make sure we maintain its integrity of the original design. The back side, we can do anything with. But that's because it's on the historical registry and they're having some funds available that they utilize to improve that building. They could have done anything that they wanted to with that, and we're not stopping them from doing that. We just want them to think about, you know, do you really want to paint your whole building pink? That's a bad example, but I mean, there's things that would devalue that property, especially since it's on one of the main streets and part of the heritage of downtown North Platte. And that's all we're trying to do, is letting people stop and think a little bit about something before they do it, and hopefully offer them, hey, we've got some money that's available to get a mason on board, or to get a different type of glass installed instead of something that's already there, to get it back to its original nature, kind of what an old historic district downtown would look like.
In order to qualify, do the properties have to be contiguous?
No.
They have to be adjoining properties within a boundary? Or can there be a property within that designated area that could opt out?
There will be some buildings, like the Parquet Plaza, for example. That building in itself would be what we would call a non-contributing structure in that district. So yes, that particular building really does not have the historical significance. Now, the ground that it is on is part of the original plat of North Platte, so that does have a historic
Okay.
value.
One other question. There are properties outside this description that I think that would be great. And I think the point was made by someone else, and I agree with that. Our old fire station, I think, is such a part of our history and it has such a structural integrity still. I think it's unfortunate that that property can't be included in this.
Well, yeah, and we've went through several different reiterations of the boundary, and it kept growing to the point where it went so far, we kind of had to say, well, let's take one step and get this first step established, get our first boundary set up. We can add to that later on through more resolutions.
You could add individual properties outside that boundary down the road if you chose.
Eventually, yes, we can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My one main question is this the first step before it goes like to a national registry of a historic district?
We're just a local district.
No,
so
but is this like the first thing we have to do before we can make all of that a national?
it would be part of that.
Yeah, it helps.
Okay, so
I don't
once-
think there's any intent right at the present moment to make this a national registered district at this present moment. Now, since if we do get this portion designated, there was some talk of possibly going back and taking like maybe just a block or two of this area and trying to get that on the national register, if property owners are interested in doing that.
Okay, then once it goes national, then they can't really mess with the buildings that much at all, can they? Other than upkeep, correct? I
No,
mean, they
it's-
can't.
It's still following the same parameters. For
Okay.
instance, if the
Well, I'm just wondering
exterior.
how this is gonna tie into the
Sure,
downtown
sure.
project next year where we're ripping down awnings and stuff off those buildings. I'm gonna kind of see where this is gonna go hand in hand to help those guys.
Exactly.
Which is kind of probably why a lot of this got put in here, was to help them with the tax incentives to pay their portion and.
Trying to do a little forward thinking to kind of help
Yeah.
people out, exactly. But as far as the facade, it's basically the front facade of the building itself that we're trying to help maintain the design integrity of the original structure.
Okay.
Inside the building, you can do anything you want inside that building. It's
Okay.
just when someone drives by and looks at the exterior of that structure, they can tell it's a 1922 building of some sort and
Okay.
go on from there.
That's all I wanted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That motion passes. Item number 4, authorize mayor to execute guarantee release agreement releasing Allo Communications LLC from a guarantee of obligations of Allo North Platte LLC.
Make guarantee release agreement releasing Allo Communications LLC from its guarantee of obligations of Allo North Platte LLC.
Second.
Is there any discussion necessary?
Unless you have a question.
Well, I'm asking the dude back here. Question is there any problem with this? You've probably taken care of all of it already, haven't you?
Well, we did communicate several times, and the bottom line is that Nelnet has acquired Allo. Allo was required to have posted with the city a bond or a guarantee, and Allo did have a guarantee on file with the city. Nelnet has asked that we release Allo's guarantee and they have offered in return their own guarantee. So we have basically the same coverage.
Thank you.
Basically, it's a transfer of name
Okay.
on the same plan.
Different companies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, different,
Yeah, Nelnet's stepping into Allo North Platte's shoes.
yeah.
That motion passes. Item number 5, third reading and action on ordinance number 3968, vacating a portion of Valley right-of-way contiguous to the east line of Lot 2 and Smith First, replat in lots 24, 25, and 26, Block 5 of H&S Addition and part of a Tract D4 of the former suburban irrigation canal right-of-way, and also contiguous to the west line of Smith's second replat of lots 1, 2, and 3, Block 5 of H&S Addition and part of the Tract D4 of the former suburban irrigation canal right-of-way, all within the city of North Platte. Please.
An ordinance of the mayor and council of the city of North Platte, Lincoln County, Nebraska, vacating a certain portion of alley right-of-way, providing for the vesting of title of said vacated alley, and providing for the effective date of this ordinance and publication thereof.
Recommend approval of the reading of the action on ordinance number 3968, vacating a portion of the alley right-of-way contiguous to the east line of Lot 2 and Smith First replat and lots 24, 25, and 26, Block 5 of H&S Addition and part of the Tract D4 of the former suburban irrigation canal right-of-way, and also contiguous to the west line of Smith's second replat of lots 1, 2, and 3, Block 5 of H&S Addition and part of the Tract D4 of the former suburban irrigation canal right-of-way, all within the city of North Platte.
I'll second.
This is not a public hearing, is it?
It is not, unless you have a question.
That alleyway, and that's all been taken care of, hasn't it?
Well, it hasn't yet.
No, but it will be. Okay.
So the discussion at the last Judy's department meeting, I lost train of thought there. It was my understanding that it was tabled because they didn't know if they wanted to go east or west with the alley at this time.
No, actually,
made a decision?
the reason it was tabled, it's my understanding is because currently the city still holds title to part of the property that would be included in the subdivision that was presented to the planning commission. And so it would take your action to put that in the hands of one owner to allow them to move forward with that subdivision plat.
Okay.
Motion passes.
Now, is it correct in assuming this is a done deal? This won't come back to us again? Okay, thank you.
Item number 6, adopt a resolution approving claim and authorizing the issuance of warrant to Steele's Roofing and Construction in the amount of $51,703.49 to pay approved claim and referring to and incorporating the terms and conditions of ordinance number 3874 relating to warrant financing passed and approved on May 21st of 2013.
Okay, I'll make the motion approving the resolution. A resolution approving claim and authorize the issuance of a warrant to Steele's Roofing and Construction in the amount of $51,703.49 to pay approved claim and referring to and incorporating the terms and conditions of ordinance number 3874 relating to warrant financing passed and approved on May 21st, 2013.
Second.
That motion passes. And item number 7 is claims.
We pay the claim.
Second.
Jim? Right there on the general, that Pro Track and Tennis, what company is that?
That's the company that comes in and repairs the cracks in the tennis courts.
Okay.
agreement with the tennis association is we bring them in every spring.
Gotcha.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I just had a conversation with our fine newspaper reporter that she is almost falling in love with Nebraska, but her home state has beckoned her to come back, and this is the last meeting that she will be attending in the city council. And I just want to publicly thank you for the fine job you've done for us.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being so welcoming. I do love North Platte, and I'll be back, so don't worry, guys. Nebraska Land Days, I'll be here. But thank you guys seriously so much. I didn't miss it here.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You make me cry.
Ah, yes,
Yeah, Job's our telegraph guy.
you're KNOP.
You should be
Thanks,
so
Chelsea.
lucky.
You take her? Okay.
Thank you, guys.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second. Aye.